Welcome back to some professional Starcraft 2 from the ESL Open Cup North America. Number 73, I give you these two fighting for the North American semifinals. Of course, you can participate in any of the three Open Cups, just kind of depends on what server it's going to be hosted on. But first, let me introduce you to the man who can execute every plan. The man who is perpetually the fourth best Zerg player in the world, no matter who the top three might be. It is. Does he have a team now? Jimmy, get the wiki up. I'm not actually sure, but Solar. He seems to a perpetually round of 8 player, overshadowed by many. You know, you'd think we would get the wiki beforehand, but no. Usually they're supposed to use their clan tags. Currently he's on Kaizai Gaming, or Kaizai Gaming, I'm not sure how to say it. But maybe he should have some promotion for his own team in... Okay. It's already tough enough to market teams in StarCraft 2. Anyways, please support teams. And in the top right, it took a while for us to really realize what we were dealing with. The magnitude of the situation had not yet dawned upon us, like the horizon over his beautifully styled hair. Of course, in the top right, from Germany, it is HeroMarine, the biggest of Gabe's. A Terran's Terran, okay? When it comes to Terran, like, well, most Terrans are Terran. The Terrans have a more distinct and homogenous personality, probably, than any other race, just in terms of the people who play Terran. He has strong feelings about Protoss, occasionally has strong feelings about Zerg. He likes units that start with M, okay? And he's out of your league, important to note. And if people don't just let him do a 3cc build, while still putting out a lot of pressure with minimal units, then essentially they're no skill cheese all-inners rogue. So, speaking of, not two, but 3 command centers from the Mouse Sports player. By the way, Mouse Sports has been sponsoring HeroMarine, and he's been on Team Mouse Sports for like 11 years now. For over half of Rainer's life, HeroMarine has been sponsored by probably the longest running team in SC2, just by that. So, shout out to Mouse Sports. I didn't even spend any time, because it's just, if you take the Mouse Sports out of HeroMarine, you still get something larger than the solar system combined, but still, why would you want to? It looks like we're off to a relatively standard and relatively, some might say, boring macro game. Though HeroMarine is another, like I said, he's a Terran's Terran. In Solar, at risk of sounding like I only know 17 words, Solar is a Zerg. He does like that 4-base, heavy layer into high, like, he's not going to be tied down by a roach timing. And he's not going to be limited to playing defensive, but I wouldn't be surprised to see him working his way up towards lair. And honestly, mutas, blings, maybe a classical Zerg versus Terran. Maybe after this short brawl, we're back. Okay, we wait for no man. That was just a time dilation around HeroMarine means hands there. That was affecting the internet. There's a Baneling Nest. It's looking so far essentially like a Heart of the Swarm or even Wings of Liberty game. 1-1-1 with 3cc into Hellion Banshee up against a few Queens. Baneling Nest on the way with a lair. 3-base Zerg. So, besides a little poking and prodding, let the Hellions just keep the creep and the Queens honest. But there still will be some creeps, bud. And I doubt... Whoa, no, everybody, I take it back. Whatever I just put, I'm taking it back. That's an armory. And that armor, it's like... It's kind of at a weird time. It's a Flex Terran armory. Not a Biocurious build. Well, a Zergling gets in, so that's... That's not great. But the Zergling did not see the armory because Big Gabe in all his infinite wisdom put it at the natural. So this, for all intents and purposes, like, there shouldn't be a Hellbat attack coming. Hellbat attacks, just like, every month, some top-tier Terran in a relatively high-profile match will do a Hellbat attack. And every month, we're reminded of why people don't do Hellbat attacks. But let's see. Okay. Great spread on the Hellbats. The Queens are handling it pretty well. The Cloak Banshee's helping a little. The Hellbats are in the mineral line, but Zerglings are killing... Okay, the Hellbat... Yeah, okay, well, there you go. It looks like we were due for the month. Yeah, the Hellbats do effectively nothing, despite Solar not knowing they were coming. Meanwhile, a small Zergling counterattack kills 4 times as many workers. And we once again close the book on that one for a month. We will not be... I'll see you next month with the Hellbat opener, where it will still not be very good. That wasn't even a Hellbat opener. That was kind of like a Hellbat side dish right there. Like, I'm doing my opener, but also some Hellbats. Like, unfortunately, what ended up happening more was SCVs dying to Zerglings because HeroMarine was trying to micro some of the least microable units in the game. Why do people keep doing hell? It's just not good. You get an armory for drill. Oh, wait a second. It's a full... It is a Bio-Curious build. Is it? I still don't know. The fact that I don't know at this point, and I can see the map, that's the confused... Jimmy, I can't hear anything. Oh my god. I know I should get I've been blasting headphones for 10 years. I'm not going to stop now. He's actually doing the double factory mine. Oh, Bio-Curious is just 1, because of the pun, and 2, because Cure is one of the first people, if not the first Terran to do this. Because Cure realized, like, all these other Terrans are trying to micro, like, Marines and split against Banelings, where you could just build Widow Mines. And that's quite good. And also, it actually is a bio build, but with a strong, like, you know how mashed potato... I'm very hungry now. I'm sorry. Mashed potatoes, like, the mashed part is relevant. It's still potatoes. Like, here are the potatoes. They're bio. But the fact that mines are involved is very relevant. Like, that's a key point. Otherwise... Oh my god, the mine drop. 1, 2, 3, 4. Who needs a fucking Thor? Mines! Mines! We love mines! Oh my. Okay, well, until they all died of bandings. Well, that was terrible. Okay, that could have gone. It seems every time HeroMarine does any... That was a good mine hit, but... Every time HeroMarine tries to do damage on the other side, immediately Solar just kicks him in the side of the head with a whole bunch. He doesn't even have combat shield. 17 S. Oh my, it's a disaster in HeroMarine's main. He's dropping mules. He's not tapping out of this quite yet. And why should he? He has Drilling Claws mines. He's got upgrades finishing. And while that probably could have been handled an order of magnitude better, he's got 3 CCs, he's got Marines, Mines, Medevacs, okay? The Banshee Cloaks for reasons that remain, just so that way the Zerglings don't run away because they can't see what's shooting at it. 46 SCVs, so that was a massacre. But the beauty of Tom, another depot burns, but... Well, that tells a story. Thank you.
The numbers don't lie, and they spell disaster for you.
But when things go sideways, your SCV count dips. What is it time for? Widow Mines. If HeroMarine had been able to actually stop or slow down any of these counterattacks, he'd be in a great spot. But losing 69 SCVs is not a nice thing for Big Gabe here. He's going to try to return the favor a little. 1. Oh my god. Oh, Jesus. Does he get out? Does he get out with the mines? 12 kills. And he's rallying across. The army supplies are actually in favor of Big Gabe. And now, The window to attack. This is it. This is his window. For a long while yet, with upgrades and the economy of Solar, he needs to do some damage now, and indeed he will. He forces the pickup, does Solar. Where is that other mine drop? Oh my god, it's still alive. It's coming back in for another pass. Looking for some shots. Not gonna find him. This is mediocre. But the threat of the mines is the important part. On a shoestring budget, well, thankfully, Widow Mines do not need shoes. They just kind of waddle around on their little legs, or they get valet service. HeroMarine, though, may have overinvested once again. This is a situation even Widow Mines would be tough to make up the difference. Solar is rolling with the punches here because he knows how much damage he's done. He doesn't need to risk an all-in attack when he could just continue rebuilding. Like, it hurts, obviously, to lose that many drones. But HeroMarine he just got back over 50 SCVs. It's not good. Marines themselves, no matter how heroic they might be, against better upgraded Hydroling Bane, no. Oh, the Widow Mine drop coming in. Oh my god, he's gonna find another opportunity. Oh, it's gonna get big hits. 7 kills. Those Widow Mines. Wow, okay. They're still going. Like, they don't stop. It never quits. That Widow Mine drop has kept Big Gabe in the game. 100%. Without it, Solar would have put everything together and just slammed it in the HeroMarine's face, no matter how massive it might be. But here we are. Oh my god, he doesn't have Hydro range? He just now is getting Hydro range, Solar. Doesn't have that many Hydras, I guess, as well. Another mine drop! Oh, it doesn't stop. Don't stop the drop. Dropping more base than Skrillex right now in the mines. Finally, well, the Metavac's cleared up, but there still have to be all the... Like, he has to get an Overseer. It's a whole deal. It's a whole deal. Yes! Jimmy, can we see that part again? You seem to have gone through a time dilation. I don't know what happened there. We passed by HeroMarine again. It happens. Oh my god, the Widow Mines. They actually got another hit off because Solar, I think, select all armied. Oh my god. That one will get cleaned up. But HeroMarine with a solid fight. He's now got the... he still has the army supply. He's about to finish +2. I don't think there are any lurkers. Okay, 3 lurkers. That's not enough. It's enough to drive back the Marines, potentially. Adaptive Talon's not done yet. Is there a scan? There really needs to be a scan. Lightning Cloud? Solar, not... The HeroMarine's just stimming through. Nice splits. 1 lurker. A few Banes. The Viper's an afterthought. Where are you even pulling it? Well, HeroMarine's going to kill all the lurkers, but he's also going to lose everything else. Couple tanks at the back. The Vipers, I don't think they were helping so much as trying to get their participation trophy. HeroMarine is driven back. Solar has a good enough economy for Big Gabe to just tap it out. So, that was a bit of a mess. The Widow Mines kept taking out huge chunks, but not meaty enough to come. Like, can we just put the Hellbat builds back on the shelf, okay? I swear, every month. I think every Terran has to once a month do it. Like, maybe I can go back to my Heart of the Swarm. No. Hellbats are out, okay? You've got other options. It's like, but mines are boring and don't take any micro. It's like, that's too bad, alright? You're gonna have to compensate with Marines. Anyways, game 2. It's all about what? HeroMarine once again embodying the classic Terran, which is do some flashy micro and multitasking right up until you lose a critical amount of workers or army. Like, a Hellbat all in, or not it wasn't all in, but a Hellbat timing into losing 16 SCVs to a run-by. These are things... It's like a self-fulfilling prophecy. Like, Zerg always does counterattacks, and it's too annoying to deal with. And just leave the door open, let them come in. Okay. But I think he can bring it together. Big Gabe, one of the best at the lake. Like, sometimes I think a lot of Terrans try to avoid it. It is a very technical, it feels the most complicated with Terran, I will say. I'm 1/3 Terran myself. 1/3 Zerg. 1/3 something else I won't talk about. But the Ghost, Liberator, like Widowmine, there's a lot of different moving parts that need to do different things that don't necessarily work well together. It's not like High Templars and Charge Lots or something like that. It feels very clunky, especially if you're under pressure to be microing like small amounts of ghosts along with your bio. Of course, as time goes on, it starts to look more and more amazing, as ghosts are technically the counter to almost everything Zerg has, because their basic attack just absolutely machine gun Zerglings and Banelings, and then their snipe anything larger. But they're not cheap, and they're not easy to keep alive. So, we usually don't see that till the Supreme late game. The Great Dance. Big Gabe. He's ceded his title of the Big Gabe Weekly to Clem, who just kind of decided he wanted to win. But here we're on an NA. Clem has yet to invade North American shores, at least not as often like HeroMarine. For him, this tournament's at like 3 a.m. Or 1 a.m. or so. It starts at, I believe, 7 p.m. Eastern. Maybe 8? I don't. Either way, he's up in the middle of the night, getting to the finals. I mean, Solar has to wake up at 8 a.m. These are not gamer hours. I will tell you. You think about what gamer hours are. Those aren't it. So both these players playing to, like, you don't absolutely slaughter your sleep schedule, such as it might be, to play in a tournament like this without giving it your all. And that might explain Zest. Like, Zest drinks a coffee to get to the finals, and then if it goes longer than 20 minutes, he's like, well, guess that's that. He's been featured in that several times. Overlord speed. I love it. The story of Overlord... Have I told you about the great couponing of... Oh, it did work. So a couple long years ago, Overlord speed got a discount. It used to be 100. Now it's 75. Then it got to 75. One whole Baneling less. And then the rate of Zerg's researching in all matchups, but especially ZVT, the rate of Zerg's researching Overlord speed shot up to like 84% from maybe 10, at least early on. As time goes on, you almost always get Overlord speed, but I'm talking like before a layer. And then, months later, when it seemed like Zerg was, to be honest, thanks Cyril, winning everything, Blizzard's like, you know what? I don't know. No more. We've sold enough. No more sale. Back to 100. Overlord speed back to like 12%. That one Baneling of cost, it gets me. So, another example of this is someone discovered, I think it was PrintF, who does this kind of stuff. He discovered that oracles, ever since they were introduced, had like a semi-bug that when you rotated like a certain attack and right-click, they would do more damage. So, this was unintended behavior that the oracles could do more DPS if you were microing them super hard. So then Blizzard's like, oh, thank you for notifying us. And then they removed it. And everybody's like, excuse me? What the fuck? Like, So then it was put back about a week later. But you know what happened? With no balance changes, with no updates, Oracle builds went from like 30% of games to like 70% for about 6 months. They're still pretty high. But printf notifying Blizzard that oracles were slightly better than originally thought because of a certain very small high APM thing was the placebo effect needed for Protoss to keep using oracles. But apparently having a incredibly slightly discounted overlord speed was not enough for Zergs to not die to things like this because they get He did get overlord speed this. We started with overlord speed. We're 6 minutes in. We've now made it to Hellion Banshee, but on the bright side for HeroMarine, in my opinion, the bright side. He's not going for the armory. At least not for a timing, but instead for the 1-1. Medevac's on the way. HeroMarine should be moving out in just a few moments. As the time for Hellions to get too much damage is ending. Both sides at 60 plus workers. I'm surprised we don't see a bunker at the third. We have the rally depot here from HeroMarine. This is used as a chew toy for Zerglings. And the explanation I've seen that I like is if you rally your units to this depot and the depot dies, say to a counterattack, like to a large counterattack you haven't quite dealt with, then the rally point resets to the barracks. So that way you're not rallying units to a spot on the map where they'll die to like Zerglings in a hectic base. So it's kind of a built-in fallback sort of situation. Not usually a big deal, but like not a terrible habit to get into. Alright. The Hellions getting involved. And suddenly Solar having a tough time on the high ground. He's still going to bring the Lingbane around. Hellions, he just picks the Marines back up. This is not where they want to live. Banshee cloaks. Tank is dealt with, but there is no way that was cost effective. He lost 50 Zerglings. HeroMarine's lost one of everything, but that's about it. Like, he lost 50 Zerglings. That's... and counting. And that was without 1-1 being done. +1, Carapace finished. Solar, what are you banking for? Solar has 1,000 minerals, 700 gas. Looks like he's struggling for larva. He didn't actually get any lair tech. Infestation Pit, Hydra Den. But now HeroMarine has not been slowing down on the production. He does have counterattack defense. Not even 2 SCVs went down during this. Meanwhile, HeroMarine with a good setup on the 4th. The 4th base, especially when you're this larva starved. Oh, this is not good for Solar. This time, HeroMarine not dicking around with some silly Hellbats, but instead building up that bio count. And it looks like Solar just not ready. He was not ready for the full brunt of Terran that was going to come bearing down on him. I saw a Dropper Lord. I'm not sure if that was supposed to be an Overseer, but... I mean, maybe we'll see a small counterattack coming in, but HeroMarine already has the setup. God, the spread. I can't believe it's not butter. No. Smashed. Oh, okay. You see, the beauty of this is, it's not about how many Marines die. It's about how many live. And more than enough. That's the difference. Just a very solid, inevitable push there. HeroMarine in his element, and Solar just getting some whiplash. He just kind of died. I'm glad we spent most of that game talking about the history of placebo metagame. Because there wasn't much else to break down. That was about as standard as builds get. Like, HeroMarine went Hellion Banshee 3cc into a Marine tank push. I don't know, like, if Solar maybe misclicked the Hydra Den? I don't... What happened? Because he obviously should have had he obviously should have had some layer tech involved. And he just didn't. Like, he was building a hydrant and an infestation pit, like, he forgot him at home. And I think he did. Blackburn, probably the most interesting of the relatively new maps. I'm excited for Team Liquid Map Contest 15 coming up. For all you map makers, you should already have those maps lined up, but that will be happening in the mid-June. So, actually, you got to submit them before then. Well, yeah, looking forward to that. And looking forward to what build Solar comes up. Maybe building something. That is definitely, I'm trying on different starts to this sentence on for size, but there are a lot of ways to die to standard Terran pushes as Zerg. Like, Zerg, because of how Zerg production works, you want to build drones right up until the moment you don't. And you have to gauge when that moment is. Like, and there's another resource to consider, which Solar was lacking in the last game, which is larva. I guess the equivalent would be something like production time for Terran, like when you get your barracks done, when you get your reactors. But if you pull your queens away, or you just don't literally have enough hatcheries, you have to time out that, you have to stop the drone production earlier because more of your larva needs to go into units. Usually, instead of adding additional hatcheries or relying too much on injects, you'll see a layer tech option like Hydras or Mutas. Mutas definitely more of a they're back. Mutas are back. Okay, I'd say almost more than Hydras, because Hydras, Terrans have kind of figured out that tanks are good. HeroMarine doing his absolute best Maru impression here. Or maybe Maru doing his HeroMarine impression. I don't know. Game recognizes massive, overwhelming game, as they say. And 3cc before Starport once again dipping into the pot of greed. His mouse sports HeroMarine, but once again, I think Solar isn't really the type of player to just throw a roach all in it. Like, it might be a calculated thing. Like, if he sees the third CC right off the bat. Notice that HeroMarine hasn't built any of these third CCs at the front. So, unless you get a Zergling in, it's kind of hard to spot him too early. So you can't line up a roach all in necessarily with as much confidence. Solar just doesn't do much. That's why he just is a little bit of everything. I say he's the fourth best Zerg player at all times. Why? Because there's always one Korean Zerg ahead of him. And then there's Cyril and Raynor, which, no bias, have honestly been the best for the best two Zerg players. Whoever's beaten up on who, it doesn't really matter, for several years. Maybe that's breaking a little now. And then there's Dark or Rogue. At some points it was Sue. There's always been someone ahead of Solar in Korea. Someone who looks like just the best Zerg in Korea. But Solar, it's never been Dark and Rogue. It's Dark and then Solar. It's Rogue and then Solar. And he's just very consistent. Gonna run out of bullets. The Overlord sees everything upgrading. Sees 3 CCs. Is not surprised, but it's hard to see the expression. Okay, so HeroMarine is I like that last build. It went well. Let's do the exact same thing again. We see some Hellions with Cook Banshee. But after that, it's just gonna be third base. The Banshee is kind of like having a Void Ray as Protoss. You just keep yourself from dying to overwhelming ground units. And then he's going to get double NG Bay. Work on the Starport. He's got Stim already. What's not to love? Meanwhile, on the other side, Solar is obliging yet again. Here we go. Wait. I thought I heard Hellbats morphing, but it was just the weird ambient noise on this map. I'm like, did I not see an armory and also HeroMarine? You know it hasn't been a month. But of course it's not Hellbats. We already got the obligatory Hellbat game out of the way. Did he spot the evolution chamber? I believe he did. I think the most important thing the Banshees have done so far is spot the Evo chamber. So, it's very likely, like, you don't just build random Evo chambers. That's very likely where his Evo chamber is. So now, if HeroMarine was watching closely, and Big Gabe sees all, he knows his upgrades are ahead. Not by much, but 30 seconds is a lot of time, is a lot of space to work. Especially since he's setting everything up. He's got 3 going on 5 racks. He's got reactored starport. He's got stim pack, and he hasn't forgotten combat shields because he's not a diamond player. So, HeroMarine gonna have essentially the same thing as last game against Solar, who's going... It's a different map, but this is not an easy map to defend tank pushes either. You got the high ground looking down on your 4th, and just generally, it's almost like a launching platform for an attack if you let him get up there. You got the bubulas here to slow things down in the center of the map. As long as HeroMarine is kind of careful with it and defends himself against counterattacks just like this one, which this is kind of... Okay. I bet Solar's like, oh, okay, all right. Why, though? That's a great question. I have no, like... This is the most obvious counterattack. This... I mean, HeroMarine was obviously angling for the 4th, but losing your 3rd is not a good trade. This is definitely not an easy push to deal with. He's got both sides of the mineral wall. Wings and Banes at the back. I'm not... But, like... He can just fly away. The Hellions are going to have a rough day. But they're trading pretty well. 1-1 is done for both sides now. 2-2 has not yet started for HeroMarine. Solar banking up an absolute ton of money, which he will now spend. Where's that Hydrodon and Infet? Yep. Okay, there you go. Once again, Solar does not have the larva. He just doesn't have the larva. This is just straight up a mistake, in my opinion. Just not having enough production. And that's why he's going to struggle against HeroMarine, who at this point, he should be chastised. He should be stuck in his base because Solar slapped down an attack and executed counterattack. But Solar just doesn't have the larva to put enough on the table right now. And that's why HeroMarine is still able to exert this much pressure. HeroMarine not having his armory for a while is a big delay. That's a big deal. That's going to slow him down, and the fact that Solar's getting 2-2 is... A lot of good things are happening for Solar, but they could be more gooder, if I could say so myself. And the 2-2 advantage is going to go to Solar, and this push... Well, it depends on the tank. Does he target? Oh, juicy shot, center mass on those Banelings. And it's just a nasty position. This is why people go Mutas. Like, WoW Mutas? Okay, they're fragile. They feel like you look away for 2 seconds, they might spontaneously combust, but at least mineral walls don't stop them. So Solar kind of... He's taking punches, and HeroMarine is backing off. I think correctly realizing... I would be suspecting the Mutas right now. Like, the fact there's no lair tech coming out, and it seems like he's using a lot of larva, but in the main, it's going to be spotted. The tanks are moving back, and so are the medevacs. There's no reliable anti-air here. So HeroMarine still keeps dropping with near impunity. He's kind of just throwing medevacs everywhere. Oh, the target? Yeah, nah. He saw it. He's like, oh my god, I'm going to show Clem. He did not show Clem. Now this is awkward as well. 2-2 not done for either side, and the Widowmine makes things complicated. Unfortunately, Solar... Well... Ooh. Obviously, HeroMarine looking in a different brand. Ah! Why? The pathing, not particularly easy to navigate on this map. Meanwhile, the drops on both sides. HeroMarine down 2 upgrades. Big Gabe, his unit's not going to be as cost-effective, but he is working with minimal creep. Banelings connecting. Marines force back. Widow mines burrowing. And there's enough... Oh my god, the fallback tank. Some Zerglings taking the path less traveled, and for good reason. 5 lurkers, though. Solar is really... He's taking some heat, but he looks like he's going to come out of the fire. The lurkers with range, that's just going to be a no for the Marines, okay? You're going to ask, like, Marines, question mark? No, is the answer. So, Big Gabe, as soon as he sees him, if he hasn't seen him already, that's going to be the moment of truth. Because either you go really heavy into the tanks and try to essentially out-micro, or Liberator and or Ghost. Like, but it does require a stronger response. The Vipers are spotted. Where are the Lurkers? They're on the other side of the map. So that means more conventional units will have to defend this base, but more conventional units are definitely going to struggle to deal with the Marines as effectively. The scans are there. Microing into the Bubula. Blinding Cloud. That tank going to be uncomfortably blind. This... Yeah, don't want to drop there. HeroMarine pressing the issue. Liberator production has begun. The income still slightly in favor of Solar, but the Y-axis is somewhat important. That whole base just ain't gonna happen, and HeroMarine does have 4 lockdown. Now, believe it or not, at some point... Oh my god, don't do that! Never... No! Ah! Did you not hear me? I'm sorry. Let me say... 9! 9! 9. That's at least how many Marines die per valley. How many more languages do I need to speak in? HeroMarine showing why Marines are a no. Just like a solid no for this. Don't... The tanks... Yeah. Liberators, Vikings, there's that Ghost Academy I've been hyping up. A Liberator, though. Now this, one Liberator gonna force... Oh, no. No, this is not the ideal situation. The Queen, Karen... No, the Liberator should move. You're the one... Okay. HeroMarine putting a lot of damage. Oh my god, no! No! Oh! I mean, the tanks got up there, but the tanks are now way too close to the Lings and Banes. That was more of a asking if I could rather than knowing if I shall. Parasitic Bomb! Oh no! The Metavax! He microed the wrong one! It's a disaster! Oh! 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 Well, that was, that could have gone better. Looks like everyone's here to see the eventual demise. That was... That's gonna be a no for me on those lurkers. Like, I said it. I stand by my statement. Like, Thank you, HeroMarine, for the demonstration of why you need to usually pick a different option. Yeah. Anyway, Jimmy says time for a quick ad as we're on match point here. So, thank you guys for tuning in. Be right back. Hey everybody! Thanks for tuning in to the Shopify ESL Pro Tour. Now, if you didn't know, Shopify, in all their amazing internet glory, has partnered with the Electronic Sports League, yep, that's the name, in order to bring you a bigger and better ESL Pro Tour. Not just featuring Big Gabe, but so much more, what little there is. Double the prize pool every week. You'll see players invading North America, like, say, from Germany or Korea or any of the other beautiful countries in Europe. Who knows? If you want to serve as a roadblock to one of these two amazing players every single week on Monday, just look it up. If you can join the Shopify ESL Pro Tour and annoy Solar into having to play his first round match potentially. And also, if I haven't told you yet, if you like and subscribe, well then you're more likely to check out these videos. Maybe you'll see your match. Probably not, almost certainly not, but who knows? Anything is possible. Or maybe dislike is what, just whatever you do, engage. All right? Click something. Okay? All right. Okay. Prime Gaming, look it up. Amazon Prime, we know where you live. What else? What? Okay. No. Okay. Yep, that's it. Thank you. Thank you guys for sticking around. We're going into match point of the ESL Open Cup Finals. Nope, semifinals. But it could be a finals. It should be a finals. But alas, only one of these players will make it. Solar with 2 games to 1 on HeroMarine. Though, I think HeroMarine can make some adjustments and easily take 2 back. We will see. He's really pulling out the Marines and tanks or die trying the classical Terran. Just the absolute. If I can't micro Marines at 712 APM against something, then I don't want to build it. Like, he tried the Liberators and then immediately dove on Lurkers with Marines. Which is, it's a no. To quote a great man. So. Will it be 3cc before Starport? We haven't seen any proxy racks. We haven't seen any pull first. A nice, gentlemanly, like, to be honest, cookie cutter series. Exactly what you expect from these two. Of course, this is all happening while DreamHack is happening. There's so much professional StarCraft, it's essentially impossible to keep track of it. But, even though these are the upgraded Shopify ESL Pro Tour matches, I don't think a lot of players are giving it, like, if they have a new bleeding edge build to break out, I don't think they're doing it in the Weekly Cup so much as the DreamHack Masters. As for now, everything still played on the internet, and technically it always has been with SC2, but that was a story for another decade. Is he going to do it again? I don't think the problem is with the 3cc. I think the real issue is kind of a lack of flexibility. Also, the counterattacks are just doing too much. I don't know what needs to be adjusted exactly, but the fact that 20 or so Zerglings keep running in and killing almost that many SCVs, that's kind of unacceptable. Like, that is one of the oldest tricks in the book of StarCraft 2 is he goes out, I come in. Like, and it's the strategy that even people who don't know what StarCraft is, the Zerg rush. Like, other games, they use Zerging. And, like, what is a Zerg? I don't know. Actually, I don't think most people say I don't know, but I'm sure there are some out there who just think it is a term. I think wasn't it in Buzz Lightyear? Nope, it's called Toy Story. Is that... Actually, wait a second. Am I remembering my childhood now? Ignore this Reaper. No, the Zerg with a U. Okay, very different. Obviously. And just completely unrelated. I'm glad so many of you with probably children were quick on the draw to correct me there. Or just millennial. I'm calling it. So you guys are probably Websters, okay? That's my term for elder millennials. You remember a time when you had to type in the www dot, the World Wide Web. Therefore, Websters. Sounds educated, but probably in debt from it. Websters. Check them out. All right. Thank you for liking and subscribing. Three Marines this... Oh, wait. It's a 3CC211. So a different flavor this time around. HeroMarine opting for the meta... I can't tell if the queens are sitting there as bait or if... Like, HeroMarine's not going to run by. Yes, a 3-2-1-1. It's essentially the same... It's the 2-1-1 you all know and love, but with the actual chance to have an economy behind it. Assuming... Okay, now he knows for sure what it is. Oh, he didn't see it before. Solar didn't actually realize how many Marines there were. He only saw the handful that killed the Ovi. He didn't see the second rag, so this was the first confirmation he has on what's going down. Of course, it's going to take a little longer to come across the map than if you just did a 2-base, but it has a lot more options to comfortably get into the mid-game than microwing your heart out and hoping you don't miss a single baneling. Honestly, right now, there's not even a baneling nest. So even if HeroMarine wasn't feeling confident in his baneling sniping, it wouldn't be a problem, at least in this game. Marines dropping out. They have stim. That's it. Not a full 16, not quite. Just 12. It's not going to be enough to push through here. He actually just picks up. Going to try to outmaneuver. Ends up in the main. Overlord vulnerable. Not enough Zerglings to close the distance. So lair isn't done either. Surface area minimized. I believe... Yeah, HeroMarine saw the lair finishing. Very important. He knows it's not like a bunch of mutas about to pop out. It's nothing. In fact, if you're HeroMarine, you see the lair not done while you're putting on this pressure, you're having a good time, okay? You're probably cracking a tiny smile. And then complaining about Protoss. But, so focused on the upgrades, armory on the way, continued drop pressure on both sides. Meanwhile, Solar is just going to try to get through this series. Well, Game 1 had some Hydras, but this is another match where Solar has the like, you can get the 2-2. He's just choosing actively to go Ling Bane. As, like, that's the whole unit comp. Queen Ling Bane with eventually Hydras and Lurkers, but he's not adding him in, like, he's not adding him into the stew. That's more of a dessert. Cool, losing a medevac, but he gets out with one. So, an interesting call by Solar. It worked out for him last game, but if HeroMarine recognizes it, or if he has mildly decent micro, they just... You really have to have the larva. And what, like... I am questioning, because continually Solar is banking 1,000 minerals. And continually, Solar is spending every last larva and still banking 1,000 minerals. So, this is where you slap in some Hydras. Otherwise, you get ground down. Widowmine dropping the main. Almost all of the army comes back. Hellions dealt with. Oh, that's an inconvenient baneling. HeroMarine queuing up a drop. +2 attack on the way for both sides. There's the infestation bit. No drilling claws yet, but the Widowmines do burrow. Looks like only one will fire, mostly minimized. 7 drones down, though. Solar at only 75, and he only just went up to it a moment ago. The drops just like this is what happens when you don't have anti-air. It's drop you can't stop the drop. There's going to like medevacs are everywhere. Zerglings can't fly. Their wings are vestigial. That's how you say that, right? They make them feel faster, and therefore they go faster. They're like puppies. Puppies that murder people. It's a Zergling, Lester. Meanwhile, drop. Mines. Like... how do you solve it? It's getting worse. Solar's dropping in supply in comparison. He's not actually stopping any of these attacks. He's just delaying them. The drops cannot be dealt with. There's no anti-air out of Solar. It's like someone paid him, probably streaming, someone paid him for a challenge. It's not getting any easier. The medevacs are still doing damage. Eventually, the Zergling count is high enough, but the Widow Mines! Widow Mines! The, Widow Mine. Need I say more? I was going to try to articulate that more, but I think I made my point. Marines are still in the main, just being annoying. There's no hive on the way, nor anywhere close, as there's no infestation pit. I believe drilling claws are done? Oh my, a lot of things died there. Mostly Zerglings, but also submarines. HeroMarine, okay, he's starting to lose a whole lot. Well, there's still enough in the main. The army supply still heavily in his favor. Okay, so the play is to make 30 more banelings, says Solar. Alright then. That is a bold move. Now here's a not so fun fact. When banelings attack, they die. It's very sad. Okay. So he kills the planetary, but oh no. Yeah, that I mean, no. The answer is no. 249 lings. It's not happening. This is not working. It ain't working. HeroMarine just keeps sending everything everywhere. And why not? There's nothing to stop it. This is why, like, I don't think Solar was light on his injects. And he was building a macro hatch. But you just, like, in Legacy of the Void, you have the income, usually, to get some lair tech. Like Hydras or Mutas, even. Or just rushing a hive. Solar was, and I don't want to criticize players who would beat me with one hand asleep. But you can't be going Ling Bane and banking money. That money needs to go to something. You're on a unit composition that is entirely reliant on overwhelming force. And if you're playing catch-up against a Terran, well, he's going to turn you into a particularly tasty mustard. So it's just not something... It's a unit composition that works when you're ahead, but really falls apart as you get behind. Big Gabe known for incredible amounts of inertia as well. So once he gets going, it's going to take quite an effort to slow him down. Both these players, I think, I don't want to say phoning it in, but they're definitely relying on their default builds. Once again, dream hack going on. These are just kind of the styles. These are the ladder styles. Like, this is what you're comfortable doing. Like a Marine tank timing, Ling Bane. They're not the how do I beat this guy or how do I play this series. It feels like they're both treating each of these like a ladder game. So far, it's been 4 ladder games. It does not seem to be a trend that is ending now. No cheese, no real variation. Well, HeroMarine has changed, like, he's changed the flavor a little. But it's been 3cc and then eventually Bio. Up against Heavy Lingbane and then eventually Hydras if we get there. So, it is Game 5. Winner of this moves on to face, I can only assume, has Zest or Cure. I don't think Clem is playing in the NA Weekly. It's whatever other Korean. Maybe Estrella. Estrella's been doing good work. Estrella giving Neeb some competition for best pro toss from the United States. Or from North America in general, really. What would I like? Give me the battlecruiser. Like, what even happened to battlecruiser build? I still think battlecruiser builds are good. Like, they're not great. They're not for a while, those flying laser bathtubs dominated the skies and the matchup. Like, they were uncomfortably ubiquitous. It was almost like a Protoss build. It's like, believe it or not, every game we're gonna go Stargate. It's like, oh no. And then Zest is like, Adepts are back. And that's how the meta seems to shift. This is like a practice or a ladder series. Not a bad like they're not playing poorly. It's just neither of them are playing this series. They're playing Terran versus Zerg right now is what they're doing. I like to think if you enjoy my possibly too critical honesty about what I see here, my angry coaching people who will certainly beat me on their worst day compared to my best, well, smash that like button. And then you might be like, oh, I see something wrong, and think twice, because you probably don't. Okay? So let's be careful here. Enjoy, but maybe don't chime in. Alright. With that all said, here we go. It's going to be what he liked the 2-on-1. HeroMarine, it worked. It got work done. 2-1 or the 3-2-1-1. Once again coming out. Solar with Overlord speed. Brenda! Where are you going? I'm scouting. Don't we have units for that? A little ambitious. The medevac's on the way. HeroMarine, there's not enough Zerglings to do any damage. HeroMarine keeping the Hellions back at home. Learning from last game as well, it seems. Gonna wall off the high ground, and we are going to smoothly slide in to a 3-base macro game. Just a nice 3 bases. Okay, no hesitation. Just a little bit of flirting back and forth, like Hellions, will they run by, won't they? No, they won't. We all know they won't. But will they? I don't know. But they won't, though. We already knew that. It was spoiled in the trailer. Reaper, kind of slightly distracting. The 2-1-1. He actually did drag the Hellions away. Or the Zergling. The 4th targeted, taken out. Queen's handling. HeroMarine not starting +1 armor. Getting it now. We're in a nearly identical scenario to the previous match. We got... now, we got to think about Larva. Solar. Let's think about Larva. That was the big difference. The resource that Solar was missing was not minerals or gas. It wasn't even upgrades. It was larva. You just needed to be able to make more Zerglings. So I'd love to see a macro hatch out of Solar instead of relying on a tenuous fourth. Counterattack. HeroMarine has taken undue amounts of damage from counterattacks. Like, what am I watching? A Ling drop? And all it cost him was getting supply blocked? I gotta stop looking down here. Oh my god. He's at 1,000 minerals. He's doing a Ling drop. Okay. I mean, it might work. HeroMarine has almost... No, he just moved out with another group of Marines. Okay. Zerglings up in here. That should distract HeroMarine. That's going to do some sort of damage. You know, tank on the low ground. HeroMarine trying to find the position of it. Oh, but... a few SCVs. Like, it's something. Once again, though, Solar with money in the bank. The counterattack is not... Oh, it's doing a lot more than it should. It really is. Oh, no. So is this one. Okay, well... It's like... The dominoes begin to fall. As HeroMarine is just... he's standing his ground on the other side. He's getting damage done, but this is not cleaned up. It's still kind of like... It's like when you just kind of push it around. Like, there's a bunch of water, and you only have one paper towel. And, like, you didn't really dry it, but, like, maybe you kind of push the water around a bit. And that's these Zerglings. Killing 21 SCVs. Despite all this, Solar, with 1,600 minerals, 1,100 gas, down 30 supply. Solar! Get it together! HeroMarine with the double Liberator Siege. Unfortunately, hard countered by a Spore Crawler. HeroMarine actually ends this whole debacle with more SCVs, as Solar once again figuring out that not having enough Zerglings is cause for concern. 18 drones! The damage just kind of stacked up. HeroMarine, Big Gabe standing his ground. The one thing he doesn't have, the armory just started. Solar has 2-2 on the way. But does he have enough units to use it? He has perpetually neglected building units. He's finally got a Hydra Den done. He's got, I was going to say a hive on the way, but no. Infestation bit is just now finishing. And here we are. Drop in the main, but with the Hydras here, there is potential anti-air. HeroMarine losing some SCVs on the left flank. He has, well, his armory isn't even done, so the 2-2 is a full 2-2 behind. So this is pretty odd. This is both players missing key parts of their composition. And for HeroMarine, it's simply the upgrades. The upgrades and trading effectively is a big deal. For Solar, it's the hive to a full energy. No, she drank all the Red Bull. That just got too hyped up, walked out into her death. Solar still far off a hive, which means HeroMarine, even without the upgrades, is going to be able to push back the creep. The lurkers are not going to be a hard no. They're going to be like a soft 9. For those Marines and with tanks, maybe you can turn that no into a maybe. You never know. Or do you? Lings and bangs. Group spawn's done, but this base, well, the Marines stepping a little far forward here. Marines should be able to stand their ground, though the stims are taking a toll. Meanwhile, more Marines over to the right flank. Queen's gunned down. The Lings are still just not cutting it. Solar has so much money in the bank. He needs the larva. His queens are just running around doing anything, but, like, they're not domesticated. Okay, those queens are out there trying to kill medevacs, trying to fight Marines, when they need to be at home injecting the hatchery. And a lot of people say that's not what queens should do in 2021. They should be attacking a Protoss base on their own. And to that I say, ¿por qué no los dos? Just build more hatcheries, so that way you can build more queens to do all of that. But there's unfortunately no Protoss in this game. So maybe get that larva going. Target firing the hatch. Takes it out. One tank finding some damage, but the hive tech is now kicking it. HeroMarine has landed some solid punches, but at the end of the day, you do need more than just Marines against what Solar is eventually building. This has been a messy game. They've all been drooling all over each other, mostly metaphorically, but it looks like most of the Marines on the opposite side, on Solar side of the map, are going to get driven away, cleaned up, at least for now. It looks like Solar is going to be able to put together, with great effort and much turmoil after a few bureaucratic delays, his lurkers with hive tech upgrades. HeroMarine has a semi-comfortable 4th. He has his depots down at... No, not like this. This needs to stop. This needs to stop happening. Those depots need to be raised. There's no reason those depots should be... Thankfully, Solar's Zergling is giving a bit of a tell here. One lurker gets sniped. A little bit ahead of the curve. The Zergling... I'm not locked in here with you. Yeah, yes, you are. Yes, you are. Yes, you are. Okay. 3 lurkers. HeroMarine splits. Stims. It's not great. Meanwhile, huge counterattack busting through the wall. The 3rd base under attack. Lurkers leading the charge, for better or worse. Yanks a Liberator, which is annoying. HeroMarine not finding critical damage. Lurkers eviscerating Marines on one flank and deflecting them on another. Meanwhile, thrusting up the center. The Lurker spines are shredding the entrails of all the bio units, except for the Zerg ones, because they have very good aim. HeroMarine is supply blocked. And Solar has his unit composition, but, he is forced back. HeroMarine, oh my. Well, unfortunately, despite having the army supply, the upgrades and the unit composition were not there. Solar was able to grind out the lurkers and get just enough. The bio army isn't cutting it. HeroMarine is stuck. The only thing he can produce right now is depots. He lost his engineering base for upgrades. I don't know if he's realized. So that advantage, or potential at least, situation is gone. I don't know if the armory was in the main, but he's vulnerable from the southern flank. That is a lot of bruised medevacs. One well-placed parasitic bomb. And those medevacs, well, they're going to need to call an ambulance for themselves. A Liberator, the great ring around the hatchery, begins. The Spore will outflank it, but it will kill a lot of very unlucky larvae. The worker counts are nearly even. HeroMarine has managed to get another 4th up, so the income isn't devastating. It's just not been good for Big Gabe here as he continues to press the issue. They rotate around the north and south. You gotta stop. You don't need that many medevacs. Watch out! Watch out! The parasitic bomb! Get out of there! He gets out. One lurker. Not enough lurker. He's going for the drones. Is that greedy, or is it better than getting the hatch? Probably better than getting the hatch. Gets... Oh, no! Oh, they really dunked their heads in the creep so quick. Parasitic bomb things are it's a mess. Concussive shells may be a little late. 300 Zerglings and 170 Marines. HeroMarine putting a lot of damage onto this northern flank. The hatchery itself, the Venn diagram of liberation over here. 2 heroic Marines, semi-countered by a lurker. Down goes a hatch. Meanwhile, there are lurkers here, by the way. Just notification. Just pop-up notification. Lurkers. Zerglings are heading across the map. The Marines, the supplies plummeting for both sides. The Liberators uncontested. Only a handful of Hydras coming up. Gonna repair. Gets rid of the lurker, but now the Natural's open for business. HeroMarine's also in the main. There's some long-distance mining drones. Tank trying to tank enough damage to wall it off. Just changelings exist. The main base, the door is open. 23 drones have died. Hydra Den down for the count. Tech tree being knocked over right now, kind of for both sides. Production on the way. Liberator finds a few Hydras. Zerglings broken into the main. What are you going to use? Blinding Cloud here? More tanks coming up. You should have used that energy for Contaminate, which is the only time Tactical Goop might have made the difference. The main base is being ransacked, but there's just not quite enough Marines. Solar's own changelings are getting in the way of his Hydras. But the critical mass of he's literally body blocking his own Hydras. If this wasn't happening, the Hydras may have reached a critical mass. The Natural is evacuating. Only 39 drones. HeroMarine desperately trying to put together enough units to actually fight anything. Liberator on the way. Yanks it. Finally finds an opportunity to use that Viper. HeroMarine, his back broken. Just not able to find enough. Oh, an absolute clusterfuck of a game 5. Oh, they both just looked like two boxers just after however many. I'm imagining most of my boxing references come from Rocky, but after 12 rounds, just beating on each other. And it looks like HeroMarine falls to one last punch. So many things could have gone wrong, and so many things did. And Solar will move on. But I don't think so much there's a winner here as a survivor. So, Solar takes this one. He takes this round. If you enjoyed, like and subscribe and ring the bell. Make sure that on the poll things, yeah, every once in a while they'll ask you to have YouTube 1 out of 5 stars. 1 star, why not? Engage. But thank you for watching the Shopify ESL Pro Tour. I hope you enjoyed. Good luck, have fun. Stay chill.